Welcome to my apiary. It's Saturday, June 11th, 2022, and we're going to try to do another graft because the graft failed again. We're going to tear into this starter again, see if we can figure out what's going on in there. I've not had this much failure ever in my grafting career, which is like 3 years. Well, this is the third year. So we got to do that. So we're going to try another graft. I've grafted 90 cells so far. Not one even touched. I'm sure I'm doing the grafting part correct. So here's my breeders sitting right by the camper. That's awesome. Here's my starter and my finisher. So we're going to try and do a graft. It's Monday, June 13th, 2022. And I'm sure hoping this is a lucky June 13th for me. Concerning this cell starter, it's been very unlucky week. I started on this thing a week ago yesterday and having no luck. So in the words of Inigo Montoya, when the job goes bad, you go back to the beginning. Last year I had very good success. My builder, or my cell starter, was in one of these poly 6-frame boxes. I stocked that thing right full of bees and appropriate resources, and things went well. I decided to change it up a bit to these 10-frame boxes, etc., just so I could get more brood frames in there. Really, that's what I was looking for. Things haven't worked out. So I'm going to take a page out of Michael Palmer's book, and I'm going to take this starter down. I'm going to put that poly box in its place. I'm going to put this metal queen excluder on top, set another 6-frame shaker box on top of that. I'm going to shake that entire cell starter into that poly box through the queen excluder. So if there's a queen in there, she must be pretty small if she gets through the queen excluder. Let's hope that's not going to be the case. Keep looking for her. I did find one, maybe there's two, I don't know. But there's something wrong with that starter. So that's what I'm fixing to do here. Ready to start shaking bees. Everybody's confused down here. They're trying to go in into there. They'll figure it out pretty fast. So I've got my queen excluder. I've got a frame of brood that I put in here just to attract them, give them something to climb on since there's no frames in there yet. But I'll shake a couple of these in there, and then I'll put the frames down so that the bees have somewhere to congregate. They like to climb on frames of comb, so I'll give them that. We're shaking the one box, and I've got the brood in the bottom now, so they're kind of going down. I didn't do the duct tape thing, maybe I should have. I'll finish shaking this other box. Taking a quick look for anything that might look like a queen. There's very little brood on these, so we'll use those for some splits. You can see what they've done here. They've got a larva going there, and they've got a cell going here. It's probably left over from before. This is just syrup. Right against my camper and running into it. Some cups on here. Empty, 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 empty. So So they're in want, but they're not getting anything to make what they want. Sell there. Yep, sell. Last one. Okay. So I'm just going to leave them really. They should percolate down through there. I don't know if that's the right term, but anyway. The flying bees I'm not as concerned with. They're older bees. I want the young ones. Same with the drones. The drones can't get through there. I don't need drones in my cell starter. They're probably not going to hurt too much, but they're not going to be any kind of really asset. They're getting in there. I'm going to leave them sit a while. So if there's a queen in here somewhere, she shouldn't be able to get through there. We'll see. And once they settled in, I'm going to graft again a little later. Look at the bearding on this one. This is the queen right. So we're going to have a lot of our flying bees end up over there. That's okay. I don't mind that. The flying bees are not what I really want in this starter. I shook those bees there. It didn't take them 10 seconds to start crawling their way up to that entrance. It's a bit steep and it's a bit far, but they're figuring that out. And they'll get up into that colony, into that hive. So we've got quite a few bees in here. Not as strong as last year. Maybe I'll get a few more shakes of bees today. Okay, that's 5 frames, and then I'll add my graft frame. That'll make 6. It's Tuesday. I got that builder put together yesterday. I didn't get another graft done, and then it started raining. So it's raining right now. Today is Friday. I grafted again on Wednesday into my newly rebuilt starter colony here, and I'll take a look at that in just a few minutes here, see what's going on. And I'll show you I actually added a little piece of queen excluder to the entrance. Just make sure there's no surprises come in there. Okay, here's my starter colony. I've taken the feeder off. I'm using a hive top feeder, and the bees are in it and they're taking that syrup down. So that's the idea there. And here's a little clue. They're really chewing up this patty supplement I gave them. And that's really good news, because I know for a fact there is no open larvae in this colony. So they're feeding something. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. try to brush these off so we can see what's going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are reused cups. I didn't do anything with those. There's 4 accepted there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 there. Okay, so that's 14. It's not a great percentage, but it's there, right? And I'm going to put those back in here, and a little bit later on I'm going to transfer them to the finisher colony, because I'm going to do another graft in here. I can't see the screen in here, so we're just gonna do that. And there's quite a few bees in here, but there could be more, so I'm gonna try and find more bees for that. So that's the plan. I want to prepare to move my graft frame from the starter to the finisher. Now what I want in the finisher is I want my nurse bees up in the top. So what I'm doing is, because I took all of my sealed brood out, you can see there's 7 frames there, there's an 8th frame there, and I'm going to put all the sealed brood in the bottom. And this is all sealed brood. There's no open brood at all here, because these have been above the queen excluder for a while, probably a week, better than a week. And so now I'm going to go through the bottom box, shaking the bees off to make sure I don't get a queen, and I want to pull open brood from the bottom box into the top box, and then I'll put some of this sealed brood in the bottom. I may put some of this in the starter to boost the bee numbers, as I put this one over here with an eye to doing that. So that's what I'm doing right here. So I'll pull this box off, and then we'll go through the bottom and find all the open brood. Okay, I've gone through both the top and the bottom box. I actually completely unloaded the top, and then I went through the bottom, and anything that had open brood I put in the top, which really wasn't that much. But what I did find was I found a couple of frames. This is actually my graft frame. This is actually my graft frame I've moved over here now. So what I did find was these 2 frames here actually have a lot of pollen on them. So that'll be really good for those nurse bees to keep feeding my queens. These 2 frames have open brood in them, you know, and of course so does my graft frame. So I got 3 frames left here, and that makes 8, which, you know, I need 10, but that's not a problem. I could move more open brood up and put some empty space in the bottom. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, everybody's mad at me now. So I think I've got that set up as best as I can. I would have preferred a little more open brood in the top, but I took some feed frames out of the bottom and I replaced those with empties, so hopefully she'll hit those fast and start laying them up by the time I get another graft or 2 in there. I should go through this just about every time I take a graft out of there. Sealed brood or open brood is open for what, 8 days or so. So it can't go any more than 8 days, even if it's an egg, and I don't think there are a lot of eggs there. She was running out of space in the bottom. So now my graft frame is in here, and I'm gonna do another graft and stick it in my starter. I had a productive day here today. So I did my graft. My second, well, I'm gonna call it my second graft, is in the starter now. You may notice I've actually put a little piece of queen excluder here on the entrance. This is a no queen zone, so no queens allowed. and then my first graft frame is in the finisher here. So I figured about 3 days in here I can move this one over to here, because this one will be capped in about another 3 days, so they won't need to be fed at that point. So everybody's settled down here now, and they were all upset at me earlier for doing all that, but hopefully my builder system is going to be working now. Got a lot of ground to make up very, very late, and then to have all this trouble and put me back another week or two is really, really annoying, but hopefully we'll make out okay.